Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars, and let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars.
Terry Burton's husband, Robbie, has recently been diagnosed with a type of dementia.
It was such a shock for both of us. We didn't realise it could be something like dementia because he was only in his 50s.
When my parents first came here, they were what I call independently dependent and therefore fine, and all I needed to do was just be here and maybe make sure that things were sorted out and answer any questions. And it was over time that I realised the level of care was changing, particularly when Mum became ill. And it was at that point that I was chatting to Jackie Bremner from the Hereford Carers Support Services and Group, who just completely opened my eyes to everything I didn't know about the fact that you were a registered carer, or the support, or about attendance allowance. There were so many things I just did not know.
I got involved with the Herefordshire Carers. I remember how it happened, but I know they helped me hugely. There were training courses, there was a magazine to read, there was meetings to go to. The first training course I went on was Confidence for Carers, and that was a big help.
For individual carers, as they come into the caring situation, or until they discover Carers UK or organisations that can help them, the situation is still as dreadful. Though we've made huge strides, I think you would find that the problems are the same. Problems of recognition, problem of support, problems about your emotions, not feeling confident about saying how angry you might feel or how resentful you might feel, and perhaps more than anything, difficulties about information, finding out how you can get support, where the carers group is.
In the first instance, the problem can be that you don't know what you don't know. But once you have managed to find out the information, an example being the dementia awareness course, and it was hugely helpful. And I think having the information to hand, and you need to know that it is factually correct, really does help.
Herefordshire Carers Support is one of the many groups in the UK that are part of the carers movement. They support carers and campaign to make their lives better. 2015 is the 50th anniversary of the carers movement.
I'd argue that the carers movement, in a way, began with Mary Webster, who collected around her a group of people equally outraged at the disadvantage they had faced. She described caring as being in prison. She was so cut off. She'd been a Congregationalist minister. She was so cut off from the life that she'd built for herself. And this vision she had of helping people, absolutely cut off. And she was so outraged, she did what outraged professional women did. She wrote to the Times, and she had an extraordinary response. So it was rather like the 60s equivalent of trending on Twitter.
In the last 50 years, the carers movement has grown. Legislation has been enacted. Legal cases have been won. Mary Webster's initiative has over the decades evolved into Carers UK. Back in Herefordshire, the Carers Support Group calls local politicians to account in a question time format. The meeting is chaired by Baroness Jill Pitt-Keithley, head of Carers UK in the 1990s and patron of Herefordshire Carers Support.
Carers are not going cap in hand about this. Carers are contributors to the workforce.
Luke Clements, Professor of Social Care Law at Cardiff University, provides a legal perspective.
That's wonderful because people don't.
It's a widespread.
If you're on state pension, even if it was only £10 a week, you can't have a carer's allowance. So what I'd like to ask the panel up there, will they alter it to state benefit and not state pension.
Once you get the state pension, you can't claim it. I'm sure our candidates all know that.
In other words, as the state recedes, does the carer's role automatically kick in without the necessary support?
Because it's tax that is used to provide all these things that we want.
We've cut by a third in the last 20 years the amount of support social services provide.
As the political parties will start taking seriously mental health patients,
billions of pounds are being saved by the very often voluntary commitments of carers.
You end up with carers doing the most incredibly intensive caring. This isn't a problem caused by demographics, this is caused by the politics of a country that's decided that it doesn't want to pay.
My wife's got advanced dementia, and yes, I love her dearly. We've been married for 56 years and never been apart. But I don't do the caring for love. I do love her, but I do it of necessity. One of the speakers said, "You've got a choice." You don't have a choice. She's there. And it is a necessity. The pension, it goes nowhere. We get no recognition as a carer financially. My life has changed dramatically. I don't resent that. I still love her. But the politicians are playing on that love I've got for my wife.
Carers have a powerful message for politicians. As their numbers increase, will their political power increase as well? Jackie Bremner of Herefordshire Care Support thinks it is important for carers to engage with politicians.
Hopefully it's given people enough to think about and also to make the connection between what goes on at national political level to the impact that that's likely to have for them as carers in a family home. And it's really about making those connections so that people can see how important it is to actually take part and to hear what people have to say.